What's up?
Stop playing. Good afternoon, Off the Bench Sports family. We are here live at the Lamar Dixon Center in Gonzales, Louisiana. Joining us now is a guy that absolutely adores wrestling. He's a 24/7, 365, all about wrestling, all about kids. And if this is such a thing, he's pulled off a wrestling coup.
I don't know, but hey, it's a good feel. It's a good feeling what we're doing right now.
Again, this last 2 days has been a state tournament wrestling environment.
It has. Everyone's excited. You know, it's good competition.
I got to ask you a couple of questions that might, I want to just put that out there right now. You know, you've interviewed with me before. You know, I don't like, as a media guy, I don't do controversy.
Right, what you got?
But I have to ask a couple questions. When did this idea come to you first?
State championships last year. So 2 years ago, I thought we were going to win a state championship. We had 10 seniors. We had Brad Mahoney, Gavin Saunier, both number 1 seeds. We had 3 number 2 seeds, or 3 number 3 seeds. St. Paul's is favored, but we matched up almost seed for seed.
Yeah.
And we ended up taking third. And everybody was congratulating me on how well we did for a public school. And it's, I coached 11 months of the year. And I've been coaching since I was 18. I was like, I thought I was going to win it.
Right.
They kind of chuckle. You did good for a public school. We graduate 10 seniors. Right. And the next year we took 5th. And then again, they're like, man, you're awesome. Y'all highest place in public school again. Y'all did well. And I'm like, it just seems like they don't think we can win.
Right.
And my kids work as hard as anybody.
Right.
So then I just said, you know what? We used to do this little fun bet. Me and the other public school coaches, we do like a little, 6-pack of drinks for the highest place in public school, And I said, you know what? Let's see what it tastes like when it's just the public schools. So I started talking around, and guys said they would come if we did it. And then I started talking to other coaches, and all of a sudden I had a weekend, and we had logos, and parents were fired up, and we had 43 teams commit. And we ended up with 34. But it has been an awesome experience. It's every coach in here has thanked me. It's been not one negative word. The kids are excited. It's just, we made it a great event. It's been run very well. Thank God for all the support we had at a nice center. And everybody has to feel like, we're on an even playing field. This is what it is.
So I don't want to be petty here, but I'm going to roll craps right now.
Go ahead.
So I'm a guy. I just think too much probably, and so I asked a coach a question. I'm not going to say the school, but I said this is more individual than team, right? He was like, yeah, but they're still keeping team score. Mm-hmm. Guess who the top 3 teams are in points? Do you know?
I haven't looked. I knew we were leading going into the finals, but I don't know.
The top 3 team scoring teams at number 3 is Fountain Blue. Number 2 is Dutch Time. You want to take a stab at who's totaled the most points in this event?
EA.
East Central.
Right. Well, and look, I'm proud of my guys' effort. I'm proud of what we're doing. It wouldn't have bothered me if we wouldn't have took first. We just happen to have good senior leadership. We're a good team right now. What I want, we did the numbers. 31 schools, 15 Division I schools, 11 Division II schools, and 5 Division III schools. In the championship matches, there are 14 schools represented. And that's what I wanted. Because when you're a smaller school, there is the individual part of it where you can be the only guy on your team and still be a state champion. But then collectively you keep the team points, so you see who the stronger team is. I'm blessed that we're in first, but what I wanted to see was 28 schools represented in the finals. Right. I wanted, because that's where growth comes from, in my opinion. I've been involved with wrestling since I was 14, 1982. Right. There has not been one 5A school, private school added to wrestling in all those years.
Wow.
But you look at how many public schools try to get it going, and it's just, you go to a big tournament, you're a little coach, outside, wherever, and you just get run over. You're like, well, this is no fun, And we're trying to imagine if a kid from the heavyweight match, 2 D3 schools, Erath and Kaplan. Can you imagine one of those kids walks in his school after New Year's wearing that hoodie, wearing that backpack, having that big old medal, that's going to bring kids to his team.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
To me, that's where growth is. And look, I don't know what my goal was here, but I wanted the guys to come in.
Hold on. You're about to go into, at least I think you're about to go into the question I was waiting to ask you.
What you got?
Let's clear the air about this. You're not looking to start confusion between the public and private schools.
Oh, no.
Tell us what you want to happen out of this.
What I want is some of these schools that are on the verge of becoming an established program is to come here and have success, and that program grows.
Right.
And that's what we want. I've been, like I said, since 1982, we've averaged this. We had a growth spurt maybe in the mid-'80s, but we've averaged about 100 schools for as long as I've been coaching.
Yeah.
But, we have to see where we're going to see growth. And, and I want my guys to compete against guys that they're on the same playing field. It's like some guys will discount this tournament. Some guys will be like, it doesn't even count. Well, tell those kids out there fighting for the last 2 days it doesn't count.
I don't know, man. I think when you have merch printed, when you get trophies with the logos put on them, and you guys didn't buy little cheap plastic trophies.
I spent $8,000 on awards, just the stuff we're going to give away.
Right.
And it's never been about making money, ever. What I want, when that kid, we had a podium made, when that kid gets on our podium, he gets that 5-inch medal and he gets all that stuff, I want him, even the 6th place guy, I want him to feel, gratitude, like, hey, this is worth it. So, we want our guys, it's just not set up fair for whatever reason. It's just not, we can't do the things other schools can
How do you balance it to make it become fair? And again, by your own words, you just said you've been just since 1982. That's 40 years, man.
Yep. You know what? Let me do what they can do. Let me have 8th graders in my room. Let me have no attendance zone. Let me hire uncertified teachers to come coach, and then I won't say a word.
Right.
Just let me have my 8th graders in the room. Right? I can't do that. So imagine if you had a kid for 5 years instead of 4.
Right. Or even 6.
Or you got some schools that come in as 7th graders. So
right.
So what this does, it just lets our kids, and we still want to beat everybody in front of us. But it was just fun because we've never tried this. This is the first time in the history of our sport we've done a public school only tournament.
Right.
And let me tell you, now one person said they're not coming back. And everyone, when I sent out an email and said who's coming, who's not, every single person that told me they're coming ended with, and thank you for doing this.
Man, I'm telling you, so from a guy that's just paying attention, you've had a couple of coaches have issues about stuff that they thought were points or stuff that they thought shouldn't have been rewarded points for. Right. But even if you had, in the district meet, I saw that.
Sure. Well, I think that our coaches know enough. It's not the event. It's just our referees. Our referees will make mistakes. And we got a lot of young refs. We're in a referee shortage like a lot of other sports.
Right.
And right now they had a big tournament in New Orleans on Wednesday. They had a big tournament in Shreveport Wednesday and Thursday. So our referees were spread thin. They have a big D3 tournament at John Curtis today. So for an event this size, we were actually talking about going to 10 mats, but we couldn't. When he called me, like the head ref called me 10 days ago, said, hey, for 8 mats, we need 12 officials, or 12 officials, I only have 8. So I called in some guys I used to coach or favors, and we pulled in 4 more guys.
Yeah.
And we made it work. Like I said, we're at the point of no return. We're gonna make this thing happen.
And they, again, I'm not a big wrestling guy. I'm learning as I've only been 3 years. I think
Right.
I've been coming to your
Correct.
events.
Last
and,
year, you broadcast our district championship last year.
Yeah, and so the process of this thing, when you think about how to make something in this inaugural year better for the next year that's been mind-blowing already, what do you do to get this thing better?
Well, we'll plan ahead. We'll be ready in the spring. We'll have our dates set. Because there's a lot of talk up until like August, and then I really started putting some meat to it. But we know we're going to go to 29th and 30th next December. We'll have everything ordered, and we're gonna design the bleachers different. We're not gonna have the bleachers down the side. We're gonna create like a pit.
Right.
We're gonna put mats 1 and 2, and we're gonna surround the bleachers around mats 1 and 2. We'll have the other mats in the back. We're gonna do a girls division next year. A JV select division.
Outstanding. And now more kids get opportunity to win.
Right. We're hoping that when people understand that we just want to have a good time and give the kids an opportunity to compete, that we'll have more numbers next year. We anticipate 10 mats next year. And the awards, I don't know if we can give any better awards.
Right, because I want to take the main one home myself.
Oh, that big. Yeah. What was fun was Dutchtown Parents built the podium.
Okay.
A former EA wrestler handmade the team trophies.
Okay.
A guy that I'm friends with designed the championship singlet and bag. And it was just everybody wanted to help. Every single school asked me, "Hey, can we help? Do you need help?" We had a great time at the seeding meeting. We looked at our seeds. I think 12 of the 14 weight classes, 1 versus 2 is in the finals. So we feel like we did a good job there. I don't know, but we're gonna sit down tomorrow and we have a checklist. Hey, we thought this went well. We thought that we could have done better on this. So, but we're always try to be better.
Right.
But I can't see how we can get better awards.
Right. Man, I want to just, again, thank you for your contributions to club wrestling and high school wrestling. And what people don't know is you're the middle school wrestling coach.
Well, I'm trying to get it going with the middle school principals, like, coach, this is one more. And that's why the middle school principals don't want to do it, because it's one more thing they have to be at. But
I didn't say that out loud. I didn't do that.
Well, I say it. My principal saying, Coach, that's just one more thing we have to be for. But that's why I'm gonna propose next year that the LXSA, because there's a form that if a kid wants to do spring training football,
right,
and he's an 8th grader, he can have a form signed
that's
saying,
right,
hey, I am going to go to EA. I can practice with EA. There are no middle school wrestling programs. So I'm going to propose that we use that same form saying, hey, I can bring 8th graders from my feeder schools into my room to practice if they fill this form out and say that EA is going to be their school.
A liability-free waiver.
Right. And so that, a friend of mine said they tried it in the past, it didn't work. We're going to try it again.
Well, I'm going to tell you off air. I can't say what I wanted to say on air, but it can be done. If it can be done for one sport, it should be done eligible for every sport.
The guy at LCSA, Adam McDowell, he wants to see the sport grow. And, when I talk to him about things, he'll tell me, I don't think that'll go. Hey, try, we'll see. I know we're trying to get girls wrestling.
And that's another part of the atmosphere that hasn't been addressed.
I don't know why they resist it.
And so watch this. I'm going to say this, and I know you got to get back up there and do work at the computer, because you do all that.
Yeah.
I think, though, if we grow high school wrestling, now we're going to force college's hands, instead of giving out partial scholarships to guys who have worked their butts off their entire life.
We're working on that. A guy named Mark Yawn up in Bird, his son wrestles at Cornell. He's a good businessman, and he went out and he knows a lot of people. And he went to Louisiana College. He went to seminary. Grambling was the most interested. They want to start wrestling at Grambling. And we're like, hey, if we can get wrestling started
in the state.
In the state and college. That starts producing guys who want to stay here and coach.
Right.
And then you know, it might not be in my coaching lifetime, but to get wrestling back in, because LSU dropped in 1985, to get it back in, even I don't care. I mean, Grambling is kind of out of the way, but
Grambling is a 3 hour and 45-minute ride. That's not out of, like, again.
Well, look, and I've been the first one. If they have a meet, I'll load the bus up. If they have a camp, we're going. But, you know, it just takes money. And that's when it comes down to it, someone has to invest that kind of money. Because the university will say, look, you got to bring these kids in, show we're getting tuition off of it, stuff like that. But it's just, look, I don't even bite off so many pieces of the apple, so I'm going to work on that.
The same way that LSU basketball has a boys and girls basketball camp every year.
Right.
The same way LSU has a 2,000 kid football camp every year. It can be done. Don't say it can't be done when they do it for every other sport.
Well, you just have to sell it. You know, you have to get these guys who are really interested in it. You know, look, football is America's passion, and in Louisiana, outdoor sports dominate: track, baseball, football. You know, those three are the big ones. And so it's easy and look what those are sports with LSU crushes it. You know, I mean, how many years of girls track won in a row back in the 90s? You know, so anyway.
I need your help starting this movement. And so before you guys depart, before you say your last words on the mic today, tell everybody in this center to hashtag Make High School Wrestling Great. Can we do that?
Yeah, we can do that.
All
make sure you let me know. I'll write it down.
No doubt, man. Thank you.
Thank you, man.
Thank
You
you
do a lot for
again.
us.
What you're doing for high school wrestling is beyond amazing, and I'm watching. I'm paying attention.
Well, I
so
appreciate
thank you. Remember, get off the bench, get into the game.